After Jacob parted ways with Laban, leaving Gilead behind and securing a peaceful agreement, Jacob and his family continued on their journey. Soon, they found themselves in the company of angels. When Jacob saw these angels of God, he declared that the place was a camp of God and named it Mahanaim. Why the angels appeared to Jacob at this moment remains a mystery. Some believe this was God's way of affirming Jacob's path, showing him that he had acted rightly in his dealings with Laban. Others view it as a divine welcome, signaling that Jacob, having left the deceptive company of Laban, was entering a new phase in his life aligned with God's plan. Regardless of the reason, the sight of angels must have brought immense comfort and encouragement to Jacob. Despite the looming prospect of facing his estranged brother, Esau, Jacob pressed on, strengthened by the knowledge that he was not alone. This divine encounter marked a turning point in Jacob's spiritual journey, reminding him of God's presence and guidance. The shadow of Esau. Jacob's past was catching up to him. Years earlier, he had tricked Esau into giving up his birthright and stolen their father's blessing, acts that made Esau vow to kill him. Fearing for his life, Jacob fled to his uncle Laban's house, where he stayed for many years. As he returned home, Jacob knew he would have to face Esau. To prepare for this fateful meeting, Jacob sent messengers ahead to inform Esau of his return. He instructed them to convey a message of humility and reconciliation, addressing Esau as my lord and referring to himself as your servant. Jacob also mentioned his wealth, including cattle, donkeys, and servants, perhaps to show that he was not returning to claim anything from Esau. This gesture seemed genuine, reflecting Jacob's desire to make amends. However, the messengers returned with unsettling news. Esau was coming to meet Jacob with 400 men. Understandably, Jacob feared the worst. To him, this gathering of men seemed like a hostile force, and he began to panic. Jacob's preparations and prayer. In his distress, Jacob divided his people, flocks, herds, and camels into two groups. His reasoning was simple. If Esau attacked one group, the other might escape. This precautionary measure revealed Jacob's fear and guilt as he anticipated retribution for his past deceit. Yet, amidst his fear, Jacob turned to God in prayer. He acknowledged God's promises and confessed his unworthiness of God's kindness and faithfulness. Jacob prayed earnestly, asking God to save him from Esau's wrath, while expressing his trust in God's earlier assurances that his descendants would prosper. This prayer marked a significant moment in Jacob's spiritual growth. For perhaps the first time, Jacob openly admitted his fears and weaknesses before God, seeking divine strength and guidance. Believers might see this as an example of how prayer can bring clarity and comfort, even in the darkest moments. A generous offering. After praying, Jacob prepared a lavish gift for Esau, selecting 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 camels with their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. He entrusted these animals to his servants, instructing them to deliver the gift to Esau in stages. Each group of servants was to tell Esau that the animals were a gift from your servant Jacob, emphasizing Jacob's humility. Jacob hoped that this generous offering would pacify Esau and win his favor. While some might view this as a bribe, it seems more likely that Jacob genuinely wanted to make amends. The impressive scale of the gift underscored Jacob's remorse and his desire for reconciliation. However, Jacob's actions also revealed a lingering lack of trust in God. Despite his prayer, Jacob continued to rely on his own strategies to protect himself, sending the gifts ahead instead of meeting Esau directly, wrestling with God. That night, Jacob sent his wives, children, and possessions across the Jabbok River, leaving himself alone. This solitude set the stage for one of the most mysterious and profound events in Jacob's life, his wrestling match with God. The Bible describes this encounter simply: "So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak." Genesis 32, verse 24. While the man is not explicitly identified, many believe this was God, either appearing in human form or through an angel. The physical struggle between Jacob and God can be seen as a metaphor for Jacob's spiritual journey, a new name and blessing. As dawn approached, the man touched Jacob's hip, dislocating it. Yet Jacob refused to let go. He declared, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." In response, the man gave Jacob a new name, Israel, meaning he struggles with God. This name reflected Jacob's transformation from a schemer to someone who actively sought God's blessing through persistence and faith. The man then blessed Jacob, reaffirming God's promises to him. Although Jacob emerged from the encounter limping, he was spiritually renewed. This moment marked a turning point, as Jacob fully embraced his identity as a servant of God, facing Esau. The next day, Jacob finally met Esau. To his relief, Esau ran to meet him, embracing him with open arms. The brothers reconciled, putting years of bitterness behind them. Jacob's fears of retribution proved unfounded, as Esau had let go of his anger. This reconciliation was a testament to God's faithfulness and a reminder of the power of humility and repentance. Jacob's journey, fraught with fear and uncertainty, ultimately led to restoration and peace. Lessons from Jacob's story. Jacob's journey offers valuable lessons for believers and readers alike. His encounter with the angels reminds us that God often reassures us of his presence during challenging times. Jacob's prayer demonstrates the importance of seeking God's guidance and trusting his promises, even when circumstances seem dire. The wrestling match with God highlights the transformative power of struggle. Through his persistence and willingness to confront his fears, Jacob experienced spiritual growth and received a new identity. His reconciliation with Esau shows that humility and genuine repentance can mend even the most broken relationships. In the end, Jacob's story is one of redemption and renewal, a journey from fear to faith, from deceit to humility, and from estrangement to reconciliation. It serves as a timeless reminder of God's grace and the transformative power of trusting in him.
If you found this video enjoyable, please consider liking and sharing it. Additionally, subscribing to this channel will ensure that you receive more updates in the future. Thank you.